What's going on, ladies and gents? It's your boy Neosynthesis, and I'm coming at you with something a little bit different today. So, as you guys can see, we're on the Tier Maker website or whatever, and I just want to go ahead and put out what I think my own, through personal experience, tier list would be. And we'll kind of start with the stuff that I don't think is particularly good, and I'll kind of just put that in the bottom tiers that I appropriately think it belongs in. DDD, I'm gonna go ahead and see, or I guess I don't know. This is kind of hard because all these decks are pretty good, and I haven't really put too much thought in it. So I guess I'll just put away the ones that I feel like I know where they exist. So I feel like there's there's a couple S tier decks. I think it's gonna be the Drytron deck. I think the Bird Up deck is in there, and I think the Tri Brigade are like the tier 1 S tier decks. And then I think Eldritch falls right under that, and with Eldritch, I'd also kind of put this actually, King of Calamity's Rush is pretty good, so I think King of Calamity's Rush belongs there too. The Invoked stuff, I feel like it's pretty much A tier or tier 2. It's not too good, but it's pretty consistent, and yeah, Alistar's pretty easy to do, and it beats pretty much the entire field. Pure Zoo. I think Pure Zoo belongs in tier 2. It's just not quite in that upper echelon of the 4 decks that I have listed at the very top. But I still think it's got a lot of punch, and if you build the deck correctly, it can definitely get a ton of wins. So now we're left with stuff that I am. So that's pretty much like those are the most popular decks, and I feel like that's pretty definitively the top 9. I wouldn't. Perhaps you can put this is like the 10th deck, per se. And there really needs to be one more tier right here, like a tier 2.5, because I think Thunder Dragon falls in that category more nicely than anywhere else. And then PK, it's just kind of, it feels like it's Heroic Champion Rush or Bust, so kind of messed up when it comes to that. Like it's an okay deck, but I think it's pretty firmly in like tier 3, not really too popular, and that's really what tiers are, is like how popular the deck is. And then like the power levels also influencing. When I say a deck is like maybe this deck really belongs here because it is insanely powerful. Just because it's not popular, it should belong right here in the B tier, I think. Prank Kids is not too amazing. It has actually a good match against Pure Zoo, but that's because Pure Zoo is like the most fair deck in the game. Dragon Link, I've literally seen none of this. Adignister is good, but I think it's kind of still Prank Kids tier. Striker, I'm gonna put Striker in the B tier with the Bardiche Rush and the Thunder Dragon decks, just because it's really good and it's resilient, and if you don't read the cards, you will lose to it. Salamangreat, I'm gonna go ahead and put in C tier. I feel like that deck is pretty limited right now. Perhaps I'm just not running into a lot of super good Salamangreat players, but I don't think that this deck is super good right now. But I'm willing to be proven wrong on that one. DDD, I think it's kind of the same story. Maybe belongs right here in the D tier. I just feel like this deck is really kind of too hard to play. That most people probably wouldn't play it. And then Spiral, I'm also going to put in the C tier. It's got a lot of really potent tools, and I think maybe on a future tier list this might rise up to a B tier. But for now, I think that this is pretty much a good starting point for the tier list. So. This is a little bit something different, not really the usual content, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and sorry there's no like background music. I was kind of like looking into seeing if I could play like the Master Duel background music in the background, but as it would turn out, it's not fair use to just play someone else's music when you do something, and I started like looking for no copyright music, but it just seems all very sketch, so maybe I'll come up with something to play music in the background when I do videos like this, but for now it's just going to be my my gorgeous smooth voice on your ears directly. So leave a like, tell me I'm wrong, tell me that that your deck that's not even on the meta list is actually just like the nastiest thing. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you disagree with me, please disagree with me in the comments. I'd love to discuss. There's probably stuff that you guys are playing that's not even on this list. I'm putting Numeron. I have an honorable mention of a deck that just doesn't exist. I don't want to scroll because I don't know what's on this webpage. But I have another deck that's not on this list. In the B tier deck, I'm also putting Numeron OTK, which is, I don't know if you guys are running into a ton of Numeron OTK, but I'm running into a ton of Numeron OTK. And that deck is really consistent, and it's nasty. It's more consistent than Salamander. It's more consistent than Prank Kids. Spyro might be the one that moves to B tier, most likely here on this list, because I just really haven't run into too much Spyro. But I think that the top 2 tiers, those decks are really, really good, and I think that, you know, the difference between tier 1 or S tier and A tier is not actually that much, so I'd prefer for it to be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, etc. But I do think that the 4 decks that I listed up at the very top are the, like, definite best decks of the format. Like, if you're going to play a tournament, you're best suited bringing, in my opinion, you're best suited bringing Try or Bird Up, or maybe even Eldritch, just depending on, you know, your skill level, your meta call. But for the latter as well, I think that all these decks are really, really potent. And if you're playing, I'm doing this as if everyone's playing perfectly, right? So I think that playing perfectly with Virtual World and playing perfectly with Drytron is pretty insane. Those decks are really powerful. And then there's also some, like, that Thunder. Thunder is, like, one of the most wide stretching deck archetypes right now, because people play, like, so many different versions. So I think that there's a Thunder deck out there. There's, like, a 60 card insane, like, mill everything grass greener left arm offering Thunder deck that's just, like, secret OP. It might be an S tier deck, but I don't think people are really smart enough to play that deck, and I don't think I'm even smart enough to play that deck. I've seen the monstrosity. I've not tried to put it together because it's, like, you know, 20 something ultra rares. So, you know, at some point I might do that. But that deck, that Thunder deck, it definitely does intrigue me, and it's got a lot of power to it. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Leave a comment. I'm always glad to talk to you guys down there. Anyway, it's been your boy Neosynthesis. Peace.